Titan radar at 6 o'clock showing a little bit light rain down toward Charlotte or down toward Charleston and Columbia, but our area right now is dry. Most of us will stay dry overnight tonight. You always get the forecast first on News 13, staying mostly cloudy, above freezing tonight. I'll let you know if a warmer night will lead to warmer weather tomorrow, coming up in a few more minutes. News 13 at 6 starts right now.
And right now in News 13's coverage, you can count on new census numbers means South Carolina will get a new seat in Congress.
And that new seat in Congress may help bring more federal dollars to our area. I'm Bree Jackson, and I'll tell you the pros and cons of those new census numbers.
And an emergency health center in the PD has a new facility. It can now serve more than twice as many people as before. Find out more about it coming up.
Live from the WBTW News Center, this is News 13 at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole Boone.
Hello, I'm Bob Jubak. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight. And for the first time in nearly 80 years, South Carolina will have 7 seats in the U.S. Congress. The state lost its 7th congressional district seat way back in 1933 because of falling population.
Now it is just the opposite, as the state will recapture the seat following today's newly released census data. News 13's Bree Jackson joins us now live with your top story. And Bree, this new seat didn't surprise political analysts, did it?
Nicole, people I spoke with expected South Carolina to add to its congressional delegation, but political analysts say they were shocked by something else. They didn't expect the state's growth rate to be so high. The newly released census figures show over the past 10 years, the state population jumped by 4.6 million people, a number that caught the attention of political analyst Paul Peterson.
Indicates that South Carolina is a pretty good place to come. It's a good place to live. No. You're not going to have that kind of population growth in Siberia.
People in the Palmetto State hope that added representation in Congress leads to more federal aid, especially for the Horry County School District.
The fact that our population is increasing enables us to secure additional federal funds for the schools.
Every year, the federal government distributes hundreds of billions of dollars in funding based on census data. Educators believe the 2010 figures give a more accurate description of its growing and diverse school system.
We have to educate children that do not speak the English language, and that's costly. Having an accurate number of those children countywide means that we'll receive funding that will be used to buy teachers, to pay for teacher salaries, to buy resources.
But political analyst Paul Peterson says although more funding may be available, it's not automatically good news.
Even though we're picking up a seat, we're still a small state in the overall scheme of things. Plus, I think with the current budget concerns, I don't think we're looking to do more spending at either the federal level or the state, and obviously not at the state level.
And today's numbers are just the first results from the census data. It only gives us a basic look at the overall population. But now that we have an added congressional seat, state leaders still have to decide how to move those new lines. Typically, it's up to the majority party, which means South Carolina Republicans will most likely redraw the election map. Live in the newsroom, Bree Jackson, News 13.
All right, thanks a lot, Bree. Again, a big jump, 4.5% in South Carolina. The national average is less than 2%. Again, as Bree said, the exact lines for the 7th district seat are far from certain, but it's still a safe bet that our part of South Carolina will be affected. And South Carolina is not the only state to gain a seat or seats in Congress. It was one of 8. Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, Utah, and Washington each also gained 1 seat. Big winners, though, were Florida, which picked up 2. Texas gained 4 seats. Most analysts see these nationally as gains for Republicans at the expense of Democrats. A good many states that have recently swung Democratic lost a seat or seats. Ohio and New York State each lost 2. Most of these are in the north or in the Midwest. Illinois, Iowa, Louisiana is the exception there. Then Massachusetts, Michigan, Missouri, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania all lost 1.
Many of you want to know what will happen with the pier space at Surfside Beach now that Nibbles restaurant left and relocated in Myrtle Beach. Well, as of today, there are no bids on that property. This is the 3rd straight time the town has received no satisfactory bids. In fact, this time it got no bids whatsoever. The town sent a letter to the state attorney general's office to see what legal options it has, including the possibility of letting a commercial agency handle future bids. Surfside expects an opinion from the attorney general's office sometime next month. One of the 3 men accused in the death of a Florence teenager will spend 18 years in prison. Zachary Morgan is 20. He pleaded guilty to an accessory charge in the 2008 murder of 17-year-old Jeremiah Jenkins. The judge sentenced Morgan to 15 years in prison on that charge and 3 more on an unrelated burglary charge. Police say Donovan Romaine and A.J. Woy stabbed Jenkins to death in the summer of 2008 and put his body inside the walls of a vacant building on South Irby Street. Earlier this year, Donovan Romaine was sentenced to life in prison and A.J. Woy got 45 years for Jenkins' murder.
A suspected bank robber tonight is in jail. Horry County Police say U.S. Marshals tracked down and caught Daniel Luberta today in a vacant building in Conway. There you see him. He's 29 years old. Police say Luberta held up a Conway BB&T earlier this month and a Little River BB&T last week. Earlier this summer, Luberta got out of jail despite 26 charges that included grand larceny, conspiracy, and drug offenses. He's back in jail tonight, charged with bank robbery. And Myrtle Beach police, though, still search for the man who robbed the Wachovia at 71st Avenue North yesterday morning. Here's the man who police say held that bank up at gunpoint. If you want a longer look, you can find the photo and even more photos online at scnow.com. And if you know who it is, you can go ahead and call your local authorities. And also, Florence police search for the man who robbed the Dollar General on Second Loop Road on Sunday. Police say that the thief cut an employee 4 times as he left the store with a bank deposit and then took the money. So far in this case, also no arrest.
2 Florence women were arrested today for willfully neglecting a vulnerable adult. Florence County Sheriff's Office deputies say Antoinette Backus and Jarvik Hart were the primary caregivers for an adult who was non-responsive. The women use feeding tubes and the woman uses feeding tubes and requires constant supervision. Investigators arrested the 2 24-year-olds after they left the victim alone without supervision. They remain at the Florence County Detention Center. Meanwhile, the South Carolina Highway Patrol said by the end of this year there will have been fewer than 800 deaths from car wrecks this year. 800 is still a big number, but that is definitely an improvement from other years. In fact, the only year in the past 47 that has seen a number that low was back in 1987. All right, hopefully some good news on the roads right now. Let's get a look at that drive home with Diane Lane.
Thanks, Nicole. Well, you know, it's a couple days before Christmas, so there's a lot of traffic on the roadways. 501 reporting an accident right now at Factory Stores Boulevard. I was checking the cameras. I did not see that was really causing a big delay, but you may be slowed down a bit there. 17 bypassing lots of traffic southbound lanes, trying to make the left turn onto Farrell Parkway. Probably take you a bit of time. And an accident reported now also in Florence County on Pamplico Highway near the Evergreen Church. For the News 13 Traffic Network, I'm Diane Lane. Bob, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Diane. We don't want things exciting on the roads, but things were exciting today in Dillon. McLeod Dillon dedicated its newly expanded emergency department today. The old ED had 7 rooms, but now it has 17, plus new state-of-the-art equipment and a new ambulance bay.
The most recent expansion of the emergency room took place in 1972, and it was designed to handle 13,000 visits per year. Last year we were right at 26,000 visits, so it is a much needed addition.
The entire project cost just over $6 million and added more than 9,000 square feet to the existing facility in Dillon. And the good news continues with a look at some very giving volunteers and their desire to help those in need. And these volunteers get a lot of help through your giving to the United Way.
For 10 years now, the Friendship Place in Georgetown has helped feed and shelter those in need. Each year it provides more than 200,000 meals and provides shelter for 25 families. News 13's Erica Hayes takes you inside the home as we continue our special series of reports, 13 Days of Service.
Fresh made home cornbread.
The volunteers at Friendship Place in Georgetown have a heavy workload, filling the stomachs of about 100 Georgetown County residents every day. But recently, they've been even busier than usual.
We're starting to see our numbers pick up quite a bit. October was our biggest month of the since we've been in existence in the last almost 11 years.
The Friendship Place provides hot meals on weekdays and a bagged lunch on Saturdays for those in need. But according to Ball, they provide more than just food.
We don't do a buffet line when we serve our clients. We plate each meal and then volunteers actually come in and serve our clients. It's a little more relational.
They're able to offer that service because of willing volunteers. And in this busy time, their need is even greater.
That's all you're giving is 2 hours of your time. If you give 2 hours of your time, you'd be surprised what you get back. Spiritually, it's a good feeling. It's just a good feeling.
Donors to Friendship Place can have a good feeling as well, knowing the United Way agency puts all of its money to good use.
They come in and pour over our books to make sure that that dollar that we get from you is actually doing what we say we're going to do with it. And that's important. There's some accountability there with the United Way.
And that helps them stay accountable to the needy across the county.
Thank you for this food that we're about to receive.
Reporting in Georgetown, Erica Hayes, News 13.
If you would like to help the Friendship House, you can donate or find out how to volunteer on our website, scnow.com, or you can call the phone number 843-545-1115. Coming up, we'll call on Frank to find out when this latest cold snap will snap.
He has by far your most accurate forecast, plus find out what national award Lakewood Camping Resort won.
It's time to choose to lose again in Myrtle Beach. I'm Rusty Ray. I'll tell you about the program, how you can get involved, and about the difference it made in at least one person's life. That's a Positively Carolina report when coverage you can count on continues.